Hello, friends. Hi. Long time no see. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. So glad to be here. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com.
Are you actually glad to be here?
I am. I'm very excited. Go find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Hive, and say hi. Post some thumbs up, send some hearts, send some stars, send some coins. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but do that. And thank you.
Okay.
We're going to talk about some movies.
Somebody's so excited today.
I'm excited to do the show. I feel like the lighting looks good, guys. I don't know what happened. And I don't even have the big lamp on today, the big light. I have the big studio lamp, and I don't even have to have that on. And they've added touch-up to the video settings. So now, if you can tell, our skin looks smooth.
Oh,
look
I don't
smooth
like
too.
that. Don't the weird touch-up
I
crap.
need it.
You don't need it. That's so fake and stupid.
Well, we're going to look fake and stupid together.
But I'm going to have to leave the show. This will be the final show.
No, it's not.
I'm not staying on a show that's fake and lies.
Your hair is super curly.
My
It's
hair
Superman
is
curls.
jacked up.
You know the funny thing? It's not funny, but you have such beautiful dark hair, and then you won't let me do a touch for men.
Because it gives my face character.
Just let me do like a little touch.
I want this. Now this
When
is
you're
weirding me out.
asleep?
I'm looking at the screen. It's weirding me out because that is not what my face looks like.
Okay, let me turn it off.
Can you please? I want people to be scared when they see me and see the sadness that is my face.
Is that better? There, it's untouched. It'll update.
Okay.
My skin still looks smooth.
You look fine.
I know, but I like touch-up filters. What's wrong with a little filter here and there?
I think it's just sad and fake. Like what makeup is ridiculous too.
Well, I make up a lot. I do a lot of.
I know you do, and I tell
as
you
my dad would say, cremitas, which
and I
is
tell
like
you all the time
lotions and
that
beauty
you don't need makeup.
stuff. I do two different cream. I do a daytime cream. I do a nighttime
Look, I wake
cream.
up with you in the morning. If I can look at you, then everybody else can look at you.
I think I look. I try not to do too much.
You don't need makeup. Makeup is false advertising.
Wow. Anyways, let me go tell my
People
friends.
come in and be like, "Hey, look at me. You look." No, you don't. Whatever you put on your makeup. Let me see what you look like outside of the makeup.
That's the thing. I mean, are some people scary?
Of course they are.
Some people look old. Friends, let me just tell you something. Stay out of the sun. I know you want your vitamin D, but dang, no. Just take a pill and stay out of the sun. That's what I do. I ain't trying to do all that.
Anyway, none of this has anything to do with movies. We're just shooting the shit at this point.
I need to make my text bigger, the font, because I'm so old. This is too small. And I saw somebody else's phone. Maybe it was my dad, and he was texting. And
the funny thing is, this is the one that always talks trash about. Oh, I can hear so good, and I
can hear.
I
really
feel young,
well.
And I'm great. I don't know what everybody's problem is. Everybody's so old, and she's like, I can't read this. And what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what are we talking about? Let's go. Get off your phone. Who are you talking to?
I'm gonna send people hugs.
Wow. Something happened to somebody.
Yeah,
you don't have to share their business.
Somebody's dog is not well, and they gotta go.
I got you.
Take it.
All right.
All
Let's
right,
go, sister. What's up? What are we looking at? What are we talking about?
We are gonna talk about movies.
We didn't do a show last week, so we're gonna catch up last week and then kind of blend the two.
All right. So here are options. I don't like this. Oh, because I'm back on Windows. I used to be on a Mac.
You used to be back on what? Oh.
Mac slideshow will show you the slides down here. Windows, you have to go to the
Okay,
screen.
well, it doesn't matter.
What would you like to talk about
I don't
first? You want to talk about this?
Sure.
Or this one?
Doesn't matter.
Let's talk about this one.
There should be more than 4 in there.
There's 7.
Oh, yeah, there is.
1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6. Let's just go here and we'll just go in order.
Where are we going to go?
Random orders of
I know
life.
2 of them I saw without you. So.
Okay. We're going to go here. We're going to talk about the new Disney film, The Haunted Mansion.
Which
Actually,
isn't new anymore.
Sorry, it's not The Haunted Mansion, just Haunted Mansion.
It was new a couple of weeks ago.
Because the first movie was The Haunted Mansion, right?
I think so.
Eddie Murphy. Yes, it's The Haunted Mansion. First of all, you've got to know the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disney. Well, it is still my favorite. And the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Cha-Cha-Cha. If you've never been on it, once you rail,
they did open that one in California now, the Mickey one.
Well, we're going there for Christmas. It's so funny. I was talking today about our summer vacation plans, and the lady was like, "You're not going to Disney?" And I was like, "Don't worry."
Who are you saying this to?
At the office.
Oh.
I had to drive by. And I'm like, "Don't worry, we're going for Christmas." And she's like, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, we're doing something other than Disney. But this is my favorite ride. I love it. I will ride that thing 2 times in a row.
And I think there's even
And then
there's
I'd
a
be
specific
done.
thing we're doing on our vacation in a few weeks. That'll probably be a video we'll post on the show.
We're gonna post many
Because that
videos.
tour thing, I mean. 'cause it's
Oh,
a
the movie
it's a
tour.
movie
Yes,
thing,
we're gonna
so-
do a little movie tour. I'm also gonna do some of the underwater video. I did order the underwater video camera thing.
Oh, did you?
I did, because you scared me about using my phone underwater.
Was it expensive?
No, not really.
In the hundreds?
About 199 something. So
A lot of people watching are like, you don't think that's expensive? We do.
Well,
don't let her
we
fool
do.
you. We do.
No, because so I found we're going to Hawaii. Let me take the slide
We're
off.
supposed to be talking about Haunted Mansion.
Doesn't matter. We're going to Hawaii for summer vacation, and I found these phone pouches that say, you know, it has the thing and the clips and everything, and that you can go up to 10 feet safely for up to 3 hours or something, and it should, you know, your phone should be safe. So I was like, I'm just going to get a phone case. I can use my phone underwater, blah, blah. And this one's like, I don't know if you want to do that with your phone. I'm not doing that with my phone. So then you freaked me out. So then I had to
I
just
told
go
you
buy
do whatever you want. I'm still
an
going to have my
underwater
phone.
camera. Well,
I told you from the beginning just to buy an underwater camera. Because
I
if we
know.
lose the camera, if the
Well, I
camera
was trying to
dies,
save the money.
if the camera dies and doesn't work, all we lost is the camera.
I know.
If something
But what
happens
about
to your-
those memories?
If something happened to your phone, you lose your contacts, your photos, your internets, your Facebooks. You look everything that's on your phone. You lose your porn, whatever you have on your phone.
But why would anyone do that? It's just free on the internet, right?
Yeah, but
You don't need to
sometimes you find things you like. You
Oh my
save them,
gosh.
and you're like, oh. Wait till you listen to that garage door close, and then
What does that even mean?
doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna
Back
talk
to
about,
Haunted
we're talking
Mansion.
about the new movie Haunted Mansion. So this is the newest film from Disney. It is in the theater. I'm assuming it'll show up on Disney Plus soon. Guys,
I don't know. It didn't do as well as I think they were hoping for, but I think the Disney Plus thing has caused a problem for Disney.
has it?
Because I think because of the COVID stuff and then the streaming stuff and then things end up hitting Disney Plus faster than they used to. I think there's a lot of people that are just holding out and saying, well, I want to see it, but I'll see it later. It'll hit Disney Plus.
This was
sooner than
really
later.
fun actually
You
to
know.
see in the theater. I'm glad we did see it in the theater because, you know, that whole ambiance. If you've not ridden the Haunted Mansion, maybe some of the things are going to go past you. But
You
I
don't
think-
need to ride the Haunted
you
Mansion to
don't
watch
need
the movie,
to,
but it gives
But
you
there's
the.
little things like all the little some characters,
They knew the whole ride is in the movie.
design, the portraits that are on the walls, the lights, the sconces. I mean, it's everything within it. You get the ride. And they even made mention of Disney and Florida and California.
Yeah, they did homage to it because if you don't know, the one at Disneyland and the one at Disney World has a different front face to it.
Yeah.
They're different kind of houses. There's an actual mansion in Disney World, and in Disneyland it looks more like
And
a
even the one in
plantation type
Japan
mansion.
is different.
It looks
I
like the
mean,
White House kind of thing,
Yes.
almost.
This
Yeah.
one.
So everyone has a different what's it called? Facade? No. A front.
Architecture.
We'll just say a front.
The architecture of it's different.
The rides are the same. I think some minor differences, but the looks different. So they work those into the story of the
Yeah,
movie.
because this is Disney World. This is Disneyland. I
Yeah.
think this is Japan. One
But
of
they
those.
worked them into the story
Yeah,
well.
I thought it was so cool that they did that.
And they did a lot of things where you're not taking the ride, but you go through a lot of the moments. And I thought they were pretty cleverly worked into the story and didn't feel like they were forcing it. It felt like it actually flowed. I enjoyed the movie. My problem with the movie was some of the pacing. It drags on. It's a little too long.
There's a moment. It's kind of the beginning part is a little slow. Like it's good. Then there's a little slow thing.
Yeah, it
and
has
then
a whole
picks-
thing
then
that
it picks
sets up.
It's great.
To me, it was a weird opening because it sets up. You get into it. You're like, oh, okay, we're setting up the haunting of this or whatever. And then it has a weird time jump to when it sets up the next half of the story, but it doesn't really
tell you.
make a lot
or
of
make
sense on how it
but-
connects at first. And even when you do know, it's still like, okay, that was still a little weird. But they explained some of it away. But my issue was really more the pacing throughout. There's a lot of, excuse me. I think there's a lot of stuff where they're trying to let the characters do their thing, and it drags on a little bit too long sometimes. It could have been trimmed up, I think, about 15 to 30 minutes. And we would have still got the same movie, but it's still fun. It's funny. It is better if you've ridden the ride or if you like the ride.
I think so too. I think my favorite thing in the whole thing, which who knew that I would say this, because I love Rosario Dawson, but I loved Lakeith Stanfield. He was great, guys.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the best thing in this movie, I thought. And do we know this person's in it?
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
Okay, Danny DeVito, awesome. I love that. And stature wise, you can see the different. I mean, obviously he's a shorter person.
What?
But performance wise, that man is like never small in anything he does.
No,
It's always
loud,
over the top, and I love it.
Anytime, the moment you stand that size next to Arnold Schwarzenegger and carry the movie just as equal as him,
That
you
was
can stand
hilarious. That was so hilarious. We're brothers. Okay.
But I they were originally going to make a triplets. There was a whole plan for triplets, and it was going to be recently. This was recently, and they had cast the other brother. Then it got recast. Originally, it was going to be Eddie Murphy, and this wasn't years and years ago. This was a couple of years ago.
This is hilarious.
And then Eddie Murphy dropped out, and they cast Tracy Morgan.
Oh, okay.
So they had to hold the plan, and then oh my God, I just went blank. Ivan Reitman, who was going to direct it, died.
Oh.
And his son, from what I've heard, who directed the new Ghostbusters, supposedly put the kibosh on letting the movie go forward. So now it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen.
Bad.
Now that's just rumors that I heard that he kind of put. They're not going to make it now because I know Schwarzenegger and DeVito have been wanting to make that for years.
Well, they could do it on their own.
Yeah. So who knows? But anyway, no, I think this movie's fun. It is what it is. It's nothing that's. It feels like an old school Disney haunted house movie like they used to make on like back when they did movies like Escape from Witch Mountain and all those kind of movies. It feels like that. It has elements where it made me really remind me of Clue.
Yes.
Of the way that characters are acted and that kind of. It's that kind of tone. It's not scary. It's not hilarious, but it kind of meshes the two together.
And it's not scary if anyone's concerned about that. I mean, I think if you had some older kids or teenagers and whatever, it's not scary. I don't think. But
yeah, I thought it was fun. It's a lot
of fun.
And I mean, it's way better than the original one they did.
The original was more slapsticky.
Yeah, but it was geared to be a kids movie back then. Yeah. This one's geared to be a young adult movie and fans of the ride movie. So anyway,
all right.
I thought it's a decent enough movie. It was as good as I expected. I honestly didn't think it was going to work because a lot of times when you it's rare when they try to make a ride out of a movie out of a ride that it works really well. Right. Pirates of the Caribbean has been the exception. It spawned the entire franchise.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because that ride is not good at all.
No, the ride sucks.
It's horrible.
I mean, it's fun because it's silly to look at the old school animatronics. Back in the day, I can see how it was exciting because it was different with the animatronics.
I mean, you have to ride it, of course. You got to see it.
Yeah, it is not a.
And now they've added in Johnny Depp animatronics.
Yeah, it is not a great ride.
Unless you get on the ride.
Still better than the Narnia ride.
Yeah, the Narnia boat ride. Sorry.
Not even a boat ride. You just stand in that room with that thing.
The Narnia. I thought you were talking about.
Oh, you're talking the Navi River.
The Navi River.
That's a boring ass ride. It's pretty. It's just boring. You can't deny it's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think it's also boring. Like the Spaceship Earth thing where you're in another little boat just going like this.
The Spaceship Earth is interesting though.
There's stuff there to see.
Yeah, it's going through history.
Yeah,
anyway. But the Haunted Mansion, it's in theaters. It's
the Narnia ride went away, I think.
Did it finally?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know. I've always we did that one time and I was like, nobody ever do this again. Anyway, Haunted Mansion's in theaters now. Go check it out if you want to see some fun. If you're a fan of the ride, it's worth checking out because there are tons of nods to the ride that work really well.
Yes, it did close down.
All right, moving on. What's next?
Well, let's go find out. Next, we're going here.
Oh, ready? All right.
Well, I'm going in random order.
Okay. Because
you want to go differently?
It doesn't matter. Did you already put that on the screen?
We can take it off the screen.
No, you already put it up there now. People already know.
People don't know.
This is one of the big movies of the weekend, and you went right to it. We always do those last.
Okay,
it's too late now. We're here.
No.
We're here. Ninja Turtles. It's too late. I've said it.
No.
It's too late. We can't move on. So let's talk about Ninja Turtles. If you notice, I have a Ninja Turtle right here. I just got this, ironically, just in time. And if you don't know what this is, hey, put it back up there. We're talking about Ninja Turtles.
We're talking about the new movie, Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
No, it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But ironically, this came out. Here, let me tell you a story.
Poster?
Oh, they're over here. Hold on, it's going to get to that in a minute.
Sorry.
Come on, lady. Jeez. You're just all madcap today, not doing anything right. So I was, this is one of these. If you, for those that aren't in the know,
I'm not in the
and you
know.
look at this and you're like, that doesn't look like any Ninja Turtle I've ever seen. This is The Last Ronin. If you don't know what The Last Ronin is, this was a mini series they did where the original creators of Eastman and Laird reteamed for the first time in God knows how long to write a new book, a different artist. It's a future where all the turtles but one is dead, The Last Ronin. And you don't know which one it is until you read the book. And I'm not going to spoil it. But this little statue,
I knew who it was.
This little statue came out because if you look at the back of it, he's got all the weapons. He's carrying tonfa, but he's got the bow and the katana and the nunchaku and the sai. So you're like, oh, he's carrying everybody's weapon. Totally different color mask. Anyway, here's what's funny about this. This was I pre-ordered this last year, then they canceled it. So okay, it's not coming. Then they re-put it up and they marked up the price.
Of course they did.
So I finally got it this week.
They knew a movie was coming.
So it's now sitting here talking about the movie. So the new movie is from Seth Rogen and Adam Goldberg.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, it was on.
Would you stop clicking things?
I'm sorry.
You are so unprofessional.
I apologize. Continue.
I can't leave the show now because it would fall apart when you're too. The show would last one episode and you would fall apart. Anyway, the new movie is kind of a reimagining, rebranding, rebooting of the franchise because we've had the original movie trilogy, the live action ones. Then we had another animated feature. Then we had two more of the new live action movies.
Mm-hmm. There's been so many.
Numerous television series. So now we've got this new version that's from Seth Rogen and Adam Goldberg with a plethora of stars doing the voices. And for the first time ever, all the turtles are actually voiced by teenagers.
It's surprising that they weren't before.
No, because they always hired just
teenage.
No, but they always hired standard voice. Well, not even just standard voice actors for like the TV shows and like the movies and stuff didn't. Don't rub my face.
I was fixing your.
Don't rub my face. Anyway, they always would hire either known voice actors or people in the suits or whatever they were going to do. Because like I think Sarah Michelle Gellar was April in the
she was
other animated.
In the animated one.
Anyway, so anyways, we're diving in to a whole new realm.
Now?
A new realm of the turtles with actual teenagers.
Lord.
Where is your stance on your fandom of the Ninja Turtles in general?
I like them.
I know you don't watch a lot of all this stuff.
I don't. But I watch anytime the animated movie or TV show comes on. I think I've watched most of them with you.
I think did you watch it because I was there?
Yes, you and I think the boy likes them too. So I've watched the animated stuff, and I watched the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar because she was in it. So I'm aware of the story. I think it's a cute story, and I do want to wear like a turtle costume. That's where I'm at. I would totally wear a turtle.
I would too.
Sorry. Excuse me.
I saved you.
Thank you. You did. But yeah, I would wear a costume. That's where I'm at.
I've actually always wanted to get one of the costumes from like the original movie.
And I can do a bow. I can do nunchuck.
I can do all the weapons. So, and I know the martial arts.
Yes, we have all the weapons.
So I would also wear a turtle costume.
We should have brought all the weapons in here.
So anyway.
Would you wear a turtle costume?
I would. I've been telling you for years I've been wanting one.
Even with the little leotard things?
No, it's not a leotard. It's like a muscle suit.
Okay.
What kind of turtle are you dressing up as?
Homemade. I made it at home with some
I'm not wearing that. I want one that's like.
Are there girl turtles?
There is now.
Okay.
There's one named Jen in the. Well, there's actually two if you want to get technical.
Okay.
They did a live action TV series years ago. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever. But it's from, I think Saban put it out, the same people who made Power Rangers. They did a Ninja Turtle Power Ranger crossover.
Ooh.
The show was awful.
Okay.
The
idea was good.
I think it's called The Next Mutation.
Okay.
And they did they introduced a female turtle in that show for the first time.
Nice.
Named Venus de Milo.
Okay.
And so that was the first female turtle. Then we all pretended that show never happened. And I have all the seasons of that show. I've seen it. I've watched them all. It's not good, but I've seen it. But in the new comics, the ongoing series that's on right now, there is a girl named Jen, but she was a human who was killed. And they had throughout the story, they found out that through the mutagen they could heal people and whatever.
Oh.
So they gave her some of the blood, and it turned her into a turtle.
Oh, okay.
So now she's a female. She's still just Jen. They didn't give her an artist name. But she actually runs around with like almost like these 3 Wolverine type claws on each hand. That's her weapon.
That's what
And she was originally a member of the Foot Clan.
Oh.
So, but in the whole comics now, the Splinter's dead. It's been dead for years. There's a Splinter Clan and the Foot Clan, but it's run by Karai, who's Shredder's daughter, the whole thing. There's the Mutanimals, which is all the different characters, and a lot of them show up in this movie. Which brings us back to what we're talking about now.
Yeah, sorry.
I obviously know turtle stuff. Yeah, I'm not wearing one of those. So anyway, the new movie is kind of rebooting everything, doing its own thing. We went to not a screening, but an early showing, a special event screening.
Yeah.
Showing of it. They had I'm not wearing that either. They had a cool opening thing that had like Seth Rogen, a lot of stars talking.
Some interviews.
Yeah, and they were talking about the reasoning behind the animation style. They said it was purposely made to look like kids drew it, like sketched it.
Yeah, they sketched it on their notebooks and then they made it a cartoon.
Yeah,
which I think was really cool. It worked.
Yeah,
once I knew that, it's like, okay, I understand the style. Yeah.
And you can tell it kind of borrows, and I saw them later said that they kind of thanked the Spider-Verse movies for opening the door for this chaotic free-range type of animation that you can do that's different.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I enjoyed about this is even, like, the turtles look like the turtles, but you do have the different sizes of the ones that's younger and older, which I thought was cool, because I think before everybody was just a turtle with a different mask and a different
lot of the old drawings, even the original Eastman and Laird stuff.
And these have very distinct looks and personalities, which we know they do. I also appreciate the look of April. That
I don't made her a person of color.
Yeah, was she always? Don't know.
She was white.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but
also
she's been a person of color in some of the other iterations of the animated shows.
Yeah, she wasn't.
But in the comic,
she was the redheaded girl.
In the comic and the original animated series, and for anybody that doesn't know, the original Ninja Turtle comic is not a kid's book. Mm-mm. It's an adult book, like Pervs.
No,
but it's a violent comic. And the regular comic is very much mainstream stuff. It's not meant for kids necessarily.
Yeah, but I like
the cartoon did that.
Yes.
The original 80s cartoon. That's what made it more of a broader little kid fandom thing.
But I also appreciate kind of the positive body imagery of this one, that most of your humans are odd shaped.
Well, I was wondering if that was going to.
I liked it.
I was wondering if it was going to bother you, because it very much reminded me of the Leica stop motion animation.
I started thinking about
especially the one
because there's one lady that her face is just this. No, the one with the family and the little boy and his dad's the boy.
Box Troll. Paranorman.
Paranorman.
Yeah.
But like April O'Neil, yeah, she's a black teenager.
She looks mostly normal.
But she looks normal. She's chunky. She's got some hips and a booty, which I appreciated as a person with hips and a booty. Because they're teenagers. And they made them teenagers.
Yeah.
Even April O'Neil is a teenager at this point. So I appreciated all that.
No, but April wasn't necessarily supposed to be a teenager.
I know, but I like that we're going in a new direction, because that brings us closer.
There's a lot of things in the movie on the story of Element
that are different.
That are different from a standpoint of like certain characters that were good, that were kind of put bad, but they were bad, that kind of made good. But I also can see how they can keep tweaking it.
Yeah,
the growth, because it's not like they just did it wrong. Like Bebop and Rocksteady weren't really handled the way they were normally. But Bebop and Rocksteady are not from the original comic either.
Yeah.
They were created for the original cartoon, and they were supposed to be in the second live action movie, but something happened with rights or something. That's why we got Toka and Razor, which the snapping turtle and the werewolf thing, which they've now brought into the comics. So now you have Toka and Razor, and you have Bebop and Rocksteady and all them. So. I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great interpretation. I thought it had some fun action. I know some people are complaining about the music, but you're not going to win that argument with me, because a lot of it's my music. Somebody told me
you were in there singing.
Oh, it's because I know all the music. It's most of it was hip hop and stuff. But it's funny, is somebody is saying that who was it? One of the reviewer guys I know who's black. And he goes, this Ninja Turtle is the blackest movie I've ever seen. From the music to the hipness, to the style. And I know other people complain, like, this music didn't fit with this story and this and that.
It totally
But a lot of that happens when somebody doesn't like that kind of music. It's like if they did put opera in this, and I'd be like, this movie music didn't.
No, but
and you would love it because you loved opera. It's like, if the music doesn't connect with you, I get that. But
I think too, if you pay attention to the story, they're talking about Rihanna and they're talking about Jay-Z.
Or you're also looking at teenagers. So we're
teenagers
listening to their
being
music,
hip,
not old people.
So we're
listening
listening to
classic
it's their
rock.
perspective on the music.
Yeah.
And then, can we talk about Splinter?
We can. He is disturbing looking.
It's a little odd looking.
He bothered me for a bit.
I know.
When I saw him in the trailer,
you're like, what is up with his face?
When I saw him in the trailer, I was irritated. I'm like, he just looks like. I mean, they made him like a disgusting rat.
Aww.
And
he's a rat.
Then in the movie, I'm watching it. I'm like, he's so kind of creepy, a little disturbing. He's got these weird antenna hair things that bothered me throughout the entire. I couldn't stop staring at him. But
this one,
he grew. I'd wear that one, yeah.
Okay.
But it started growing on me as it went on. I will say they changed the story, their history, pretty significantly. She says a little bit, but it's actually pretty significant to change, especially with Splinter.
There's ooze.
The ooze and all that stuff is there, but they changed the whole martial arts aspect and how they came about it, and the history of it, and Splinter being an actual ninja master and all that stuff is not the same. There's a different way they handle it, which still is fine.
But he did do ninja, right?
Huh?
Did he knew ninja?
No, remember it showed that they went online and they started searching and looking it up, and they trained him through it.
But I'm saying in the end, everybody knows.
Yeah, but the original story was like Splinter was.
He had
the pet
of the master.
The master, whatever. Then there's a whole nother story where he was actually like something to do with his essence and that they've done.
When the guy died,
the actual guy was like reincarnation. So there's been a couple of things, but
I liked that too.
So who knows? Maybe I'll uncover in the next movie that we're doing. From what I've heard, they're supposed to do 2 seasons of a TV series.
Based on this?
Yes, this is going to carry into a 2-season series and then a second movie. After that. So it would all flow together.
Nice.
Now, I don't know. The movie did decent at the box office. I think it was number 3 or 4. I don't think it did as well as I thought it was going to do, but I think it did okay. But I think they already have plans to push it.
Just do it anyway. Well, I think with Seth Rogen behind it, it's going to get done.
I think it's going to find legs of not only long-term in the theater, but I think more people will check it out once it gets to digital. And it's just one of those kind of movies that I think there's some people that are hesitant, that hated the second live-action movies, which I understand a lot of their issues. I thought the second was actually better than the first one, but I get it, and people become apprehensive, like, I don't want this, Wow. I have yet to see comments from a person that's a fan of the Turtles that didn't enjoy it. I've seen some complaints about little things in here, and I get it. Like, I've heard complaints about the change of April, not that she's black, just the whole vibe of her, the way she looks, the way her vibe, her story.
I totally was drawn to it because I'm like, oh, she's a teenager, she's in high school.
But and that's the thing. She's not supposed to be a teenager in high school. She was already supposed to be like a reporter.
I know.
And that's where, that's that change. But that's also the disconnect of you not being
super
connected to the source.
I mean, and I remember
you just know it,
a reporter.
But you don't care. I know, but you know it.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not gonna impact my like or dislike of it.
Yeah, I didn't care that much about that, but I understand people's apprehensions.
No, and I totally get, because there are movies where, like, if you change something like that, I'm gonna be all like,
Yeah.
Like Annie. Sorry, Black Annie, but I was just like, no.
That was not a necessary. Like, I'd be fine with it. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with Black Annie or Asian
April
Annie.
O'Neil.
But yeah.
Okay, random. Anyways, okay, show the stuff we got to you.
Oh yes, I don't know if this was. I don't know if they gave these out at the regular showings or not.
Or maybe if you just saw it in
maybe
Dolby,
they did.
Or
maybe they did, and we don't know. But we went to this screening. It doesn't say on here anything about exclusive of just the thing we went to.
This just says
so if anybody is getting them when you go to IMAX or whatever, because sometimes they give this stuff out just to every.
This one says cinema exclusive. So
but that could be just a theater.
Hopefully
this one says
they're giving them out.
This one says limited edition 2023, but again, they could be giving them out if you go see IMAX.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Or digital.
Anyway, we got this little poster, this little fun poster. And then we got a comic book that's like a collection.
It's really cool. It's just collection of the covers.
For the different comics.
The different comic book covers.
So you can see the different styles.
Which I thought was really cool.
Because over the years, they've done different stuff with the styles of the characters.
And some weird crossovers that I didn't know. And
like what?
There was something in here with turtles versus something.
I love
what is mutant animals.
The Mutanimals or Mutant Animals or whatever. They're a whole nother group of. That's all the characters in there.
I'm getting that now, but I was just like, oh, this is for real. But see, like this hardcore, like cool
that's
Japanese
the series
ninja
now.
art.
That's the current series.
Crazy.
All the IDW ones.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know what these gators are, mutant gators, but okay.
They've done a lot of different stuff. The punk frogs was an issue, so they brought in the frogs.
Anyways, check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It is in theaters now.
It is awesome.
Currently number 4.
And there is a little bit like mid-credit scene to set up the future, which I figured they had to because there's certain elements that wasn't there that you've got to know it's going to show up at some point.
Yeah, you've got to. So.
And they don't leave it as a cliffhanger, but they leave it unsolved. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, where do you want to go?
Wherever you say. You're the one just running around, so just do whatever.
We're going here.
All right.
I have no idea what this is. Tell me about
this. Yes, you do. We watched it together, dummy.
Oh, this one. Okay. So this
I like how you're like, tell me about this one. I don't know what this is. Oh, no, I do. Shut up.
I remember
I
had to see the picture of Wonder Woman. Okay. This is the new animated feature from DC. And I've told you before, animated feature is where their game is at. That's what you need to be watching. This is Justice League Warworld.
And it is based on a comic arc. I've never read it, so I don't know how close it is or not close. But I will say they bring in some characters that I was not ready for.
You're like, is that so-and-so?
Yeah, like one of them I expected because of the time, but the other one I was totally surprised they would have put him in and I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, and which story? So you have a Wonder Woman Western, black and white.
It's like a
Clark Kent noir thing,
detective
and then
story, and
a
then
weird
Conan post-apocalyptic. Conan's not in it, but a post-apocalyptic future world kind of
Batman.
thing.
Okay, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and it has this other character show up that I haven't seen in decades.
You're like, is that so and so? And then they say his name, and you're like, yes.
And I looked it up to make sure I was saying the right name too, and I was like, holy crap! I can't believe they put him into a movie.
Oh, was it the dude? Yeah, no, we're not saying his name.
What does he say? Oh, what does he say? Middle Pig?
Yeah.
No, it is not him.
Not him.
No, it is not a character that's a regular villain.
But if you can say
it is a character that had Mr. Fiddleick. It's a character that has had his own series away from the rest of the DC universe. It was always like its own standalone, kind of like a Conan kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
anyways, this movie was good. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed we get to go into different time periods, but the art styles for each one's different as well, which I like.
Yeah,
a little
but
bit.
this art is still very much like and it's grown on me now. I was not a fan of it initially because this is that same one they did for like the Superman Man of Tomorrow and a couple of the other ones. It has the thicker lines.
And I liked it. I don't know why.
It annoyed me initially. It's grown on me now. I'm kind of okay with it. But I agree. This one was a fun flick, and it's like almost feels like you're watching an anthology.
Yeah,
because you got 3 stories.
Because you got it, and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like 3 stories, but then the reality they connect together.
Stay tuned. I think Western Wonder Woman's one of my favorite time periods of Wonder Woman. Because it's just
There's not a real timeline of Wonder Woman.
But it's a storyline of Western Wonder Woman. And then it's like, I'm going to be Western Wonder Woman. It's
usually the Elseworld stories they do.
I know, but I'm just like, I'm going to do this costume.
You clearly never read Zorro Batman.
I think you gave me Zorro Batman and the Gaslight whatever. So
that's Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
I don't think I gave you the Zorro
Well, give me Zorro Batman. Put it in
They even put out a figure I had for years. It's Batman on a horse. And he's got
Who's Lucifer Morningstar?
No, it's not that either.
But thank you for playing. You need to watch the movie. How about that? Where would I watch this movie?
You buy it from the store. They probably have it on Max by now.
It's probably on the line. Yeah, they
put
it
on
on
Warner Brothers.
I thought it was really good. I think one of my favorites. Okay, I love Wonder Woman. We all know that. There's no beating Wonder Woman. For me, she's always going to be hardcore Latina. So I love Wonder Woman. It's a thing in my family and in my culture.
She's not Latina.
Wonder Woman is.
You're talking about Linda Carter?
Linda Carter is.
Wonder Woman. Linda Carter is not actually Wonder Woman. She's an actress.
Linda Carter is Wonder Woman
but
for
she's
my
an
people.
Actress.
Okay, but you got to understand for my people.
Don't start saying Wonder Woman's not Latina.
Wonder Woman was the bomb.
Okay, that's fine. But
And you know I love me some Batman. Batman can do no wrong.
Wonder Woman's still not Latina.
But, you know, I've never been as much into Superman and the whole Clark Kent thing. But this storyline with him, that black and white noir thing, really that detective thing, I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. So I enjoyed the heck out of all of it.
I did too. I had a good time with it. I mean, I enjoy all these kind of stuff, but I like when they do something different and take the characters. Like, I think that's why we enjoyed that Justice League versus RXBWYG, whatever anime crossover. But we know nothing about them, but taking the characters and doing something different is just fun to watch. You don't need to look it up; nobody cares. And there'll be a sequel to that at some point.
Yeah, because that was so cool. Like, I want to watch that show.
And if you think about it, what's crazy is each one of the stories kind of has a special guest, if you will. Mm-hmm. If you know the DC World of Westerns, you know who the special guest is in that one. Excuse me. And the noir is not really a special guest so much as just another character they brought to it. But the Batman story, man, it still got me.
It got you.
It's still like,
what?
It
was really good.
I wish that would spawn an actual story, a separate movie for that, but it's not a character that would really carry anything the weight. Although it had ran for very many issues. Well, a lot of issues back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna look it up, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna see if I can.
Okay. Well, anyways, this is a good one. All of their animated features, I think, are always really good. I think they do pretty good sticking to source materials, bringing the comics to life. I always think they do a good job on that. And so I think when you stick to the story, it does really well. Unlike the other franchise, which goes off book a lot to make their own universe. And then people are like, oh, I'm a fan of so-and-so, but they've never even read the book. So with DC, it actually sticks to it, and it's really good.
So just to give context to the character I'm talking about, without telling, still not going to tell you who it is. The character was created in 1975, so it's an old character. Time period.
Don't say that's old.
Huh?
1970s?
Yeah.
That's not old. That makes us old.
We are old.
We are not old, girl.
You might be. You're almost 50.
No. Look at this. Beautiful brown.
You can look how you want, but you're still almost 50.
Beautiful, fresh.
You got 2.5, 3 years till 50.
But I'm not old.
She is. She's a grandmother.
You're a grandmother.
I'm a grandfather. But it did actually run 40, 50, 60. It looks like it ran almost 200 issues.
Oh,
throughout its different runs. Like, its original run had 133 issues, and then it's done 4 different volumes that ran different. So it was a character that was pretty prominent for quite a while, and created by a very popular creator that I'm a fan of, that I did not know created it until just this moment. Right. But anyway, maybe we'll get some more from the character in the future.
Okay.
Anyway, Justice League Warworld is available now on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD. I'm assuming on Max because everything goes to Max.
VHS, beta.
Yeah, everything goes to Max once it's out at some point if it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Okay. This movie, amazing. Did not expect this. This came out of nowhere. It is the Netflix movie. They cloned Tyrone. It's so impactful. I'm still like, what? It's impactful. It's thought-provoking. It speaks to what's happening in our world and our society, and it's still fun.
Yeah, it was way deeper than I thought it was gonna be. Like, I knew what it was about, but I thought it was gonna be a little silly and kind of goofy, and it is. But it's touching on a very real subject in a very interesting, clever, science fiction-y way. And in a way that it's a story that could continue after this and do more crap with it, which I kind of hope they do. It's like, hey, can I just tell you, Jamie Foxx is awesome in this.
He's so cool. He plays a pimp, and he's so funny.
He's old school, fast talking Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
you know.
So good.
John Boyega is excellent in the film. He's kind of the serious version of the character, but yeah, there's some action in it. It's kind of street level. It almost had a mix of like the gangbanging movies of the like Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood era. Yeah. Then it's got some comedy. Then it has some like drama, some science fiction.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff, man. But there's a lot of twists and turns.
There is, and I think so. Just major themes. We'll try not to spoil it because you really need to watch this one. Hopefully, people watched it, but major themes. I think it's that whole idea of why do we still have like low income ghettos and projects and it is true the government likes it that way in
Yeah.
certain instances. It's a level of control. Remember when they did the drawing of the lines for the different school districts, purposely leaving things marginalized. So you have that. And there's one point, one moment, I don't know if you caught it, where they told the guy, I don't even remember his name. I don't know if it was one of the Tyrones or whoever, but I don't want to spoil it because it's so much. And they're like, we need you in that ghetto causing problems. We need the shootouts. We need all of this stuff, because in the end, that makes money for something else.
Yeah.
So having them there is on purpose. And I'm just like,
this whole movie kind of feeds not only the stuff we know has happened, dealing with the lower income people, not just black people, but low income people, but also the rumors and the
because this has been going on for a long time. What is the
words I'm looking for?
Conspiracies
of how drugs got into the ghetto.
Correct.
And I'm not saying conspiracy like I don't believe this is what happened. It's just
that they were supplied on purpose.
Yeah, and the same thing with like property, and the same thing with money and lottery and food types, specific food locations and things like this, which we all know that stuff is placed in a very specific way, because if you walk through any place, you know, I know it's cliche to say the black people and the chicken thing, but if you drive through any low income area, there are tons of chicken places.
It's probably gonna all be good too. It's probably all gonna be good too.
No, it is, but I'm just saying it's because people have fed on the cliches of stuff, and then they take that things like if you drive to a predominantly wealthy, rich area, there's gonna be a lot of Starbucks. There's going to be a lot of higher end shops and stuff because these people have money, these people don't. It's all bullshit. The same people like Starbucks that like chicken, but they try to separate it to try to marginalize all these different people in certain ways based on your, not just your skin color, or your sexuality, but how much money you make. It's all the same.
And I think too, it also brings up this is true, that where they experiment with different types of menu items in different areas.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
That's way noticeable in other countries.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
When we go to we've been to like Burger King in Japan. We've been to Burger King in Thailand. And
by the way, their food is so much cleaner. Even
we went to KFC in Thailand, and the chicken was so much better.
Yeah,
because you could taste
the oil's
it clean.
Here it's dirty and reused.
Yeah.
We
bought a Whopper in Japan, and guess what? It was the size of the Whopper.
It was an actual Whopper.
Big ass hamburger.
And I was like, wow, I should have gotten the junior, but I was expecting the little thing.
Yeah, it's funny, just the different, but not even just that. Is like you look at the menu of something, and suddenly if something has tentacles, because it's something they eat in that era. Like one place I went to, I think it was Thailand. Everything had eggs on it.
I love it, a fried egg on Sunday.
So.
The other interesting aspect of this that I thought was very kind of got me was when you try to, how do I say this without giving anything away? The idea that I'm going to say me too, as people of color or people from another country, that we need to assimilate to the white way of things or be more white to not scare people. Remember the documentary Hair? Where it's black hair scares people. Well, okay. But it's that comes up in this movie too, that we need to be different to make white people happy. And that's this whole thing. And it's this movie is crazy, and it's out there, and it messes with your mind at some point, because we're in the shoes of one of the guys, and he's even like, what is going on? And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm like, is this even real?
It's a great movie.
It is really good. It's really deep, and it's fun, and it's thought-provoking, and I hope everybody watches it.
Yeah, I hope they do another one, because I'd be interested to see just but if they don't, it's fine.
Because the ending was like, yo, man. And I'm like, what?
And it's like, it's
at the very end.
The problem is the end, it's going to happen. If some version of this, it exists, but you're still like, wait, what? Now who's who? It's interesting.
Yeah, because throughout the whole thing, we're just
you think one thing, but it could be something else altogether. So
man, and the government controlling us.
They cloned Tyrone, which also is an awesome title to say. They cloned Tyrone. Is available now on the Netflix.
Please watch it. So good. All right, let's see. What else we got?
I think the last two are I saw by myself, so I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me about this.
All right. So this next one is The Island, starring Michael Jai White, which we already know, and Jackson Rathbone from the Twitter
From the Twilight?
Twilight.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him from Twilight.
Oh, goodness. He's grown up, hadn't he?
He just grew facial hair.
Well, because I just watched Twilight this last week.
I believe that's him on the cover. Anyway, it's okay. It's an typical action flick that has some decent fighting in it. Because if Michael Jai White's in it, I'm there. Watch him to kick people in the face and beat up people. The movie itself, there's nothing overly special about it. It's kind of like any old school, like probably 80s, 90s martial arts action flick. This movie could have been something with Don the Dragon Wilson or somebody like that back then, and it would work just the same. So it's nothing that's going to be breaking down any kind of barriers in the action genre. It's following this guy who's a cop, and I believe it's his brother was murdered. So he returns to the island that he grew up on to try to figure it out. And of course, there's the rich criminal guy who gets whatever he wants. It runs the town, and
he runs the place.
He's running around trying to figure out the corrupt police officers. And then Jackson Rathbone is his partner of sorts back in the States that helps him. So it's very cliched. It's very by the numbers. It's worth watching if you're a Michael Jai White fan. I mean, I guess if you're a Jackson Rathbone fan, he's not in the movie. He's in the movie a decent amount, but this is not his movie. This is a Michael Jai White movie.
Okay.
Michael Jai White's wife is in this too. She kicks some people's ass. She's in almost every movie he does now.
Yeah.
So anyway, The Island is available probably in limited theaters and on digital now. It's kind of a smaller release. I enjoyed it for what it is.
Generic action movie.
Yeah,
grab some popcorn.
Yeah, just watch Michael Jai White kick people in the face.
Because is he still doing beautiful kicks?
He still always does pretty kicks. Yeah.
Of course he is. All right.
What else we got?
All right, I think we got one more, which a lot of people have been talking about this one.
Oh, yes. This is the number one movie on Netflix right now. Hidden Strike, starring Jackie Chan and John Cena.
How is that combination?
So here's the funny story. This movie has been in development for a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, it's been finished for years. But this is not the cast that was supposed to be in this movie. The original movie was called Snafu, which Snafu is an acronym for... what is this? It's like fucked up beyond belief. Some of this, one of those kind of things. Anyway,
I thought that's FUBAR.
Huh?
I thought that.
I know, but it's that kind of thing. I don't remember what the meaning, but it's the same acronym of.
Utter confusion and chaos. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
But the original movie was supposed to be.
Situation normal, all effed up.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the same kind of idea as what I was saying. Kind of like the but anyway, the movie was originally supposed.
Thank you. Somebody knew before I did.
Originally, the movie was supposed to be Jackie Chan and Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
So to give you context of how old this movie is, Stallone had to back out because he was making Creed 2.
Whoa.
So that's how far back this goes. And so
why do these things take so long?
So then I thought this movie was never going to come out because then I heard they cast John Cena to replace him, and then we heard nothing else. Most of this movie is probably considered, even though it's in English, it's probably a foreign budgeted film because there's so many of them that are actually budgeted by the Asian market now. But anyway, so the story is basically one's like a mercenary type soldier, one's a military guy, and they're transporting something, and then there's a misunderstanding. They're against each other, but then they team up. It's a normal story. I had a blast with this movie. It's got tons of great action. There's this weird transition in a lot of Jackie Chan movies lately, but also a lot of Asian films are using a lot of CGI for their backgrounds. And Jackie Chan's done it in a lot of them recently, where like he did one, I forgot what this movie was, Vanguard, I think it was. I saw it at the theater. I think I talked about it on the show, where there's like this whole thing with this golden Lamborghini, but you can tell it's CGI. It's just weird looking. So they do a lot of that in the movie. This isn't as bad, but at the same time, it also felt very much like old Jackie Chan movies, like Operation Condor and stuff. That's very generic, but kind of cheesy, but stupid, but great action. It's that kind of thing. And I thought him and John Cena were great together. I know there's a lot of people are saying they had no chemistry. I'm like, I don't know, a movie you're watching, they're bantering back and forth, and they even have a fight against each other, and John Cena holds his own really well, and he moves way more. I think John Cena moves way more fluid than, say, like The Rock, in comparison to somebody big and bulky.
Yeah.
He moves a lot looser. But it's fun. I mean, there's even a fight where they set off this foam thing. So Jackie Chan's fighting some guy in a room full of like basically foamed up room. like you're at a bubble party.
Oh gosh.
But it's a him, but then there's a bungee cord involved, and there's Ricochet, and it almost feels like the fight from Thunderdome. You know, with the Ricochet with the things with the things. That's what it reminded me of, Thunderdome and Bubbles.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But I had a blast with this movie. I thought it was fun, and it's directed by the Scott Waugh, who directed Act of Valor, and he also directed the upcoming Expendables 4. So I had a blast. I can see why this movie is the #1 movie. Is it a great movie? No, it's cheesy, it's silly, but there's some great fighting. I will say Jackie Chan's age is coming out a little bit, but he's still fighting awesome. Like, the man's probably late 60s, early 70s at this point, and he's still flipping around and doing everything. So I'm like, I can talk trash about him, or I can respect what the man is still doing at his age that nobody else is going to be doing.
Yeah, no one else is going to do it.
So I'm just happy I can stand up and kick at this point. No, and it does end with the kind of a vibe of we could get more, but in a normal context I would have said this not gonna happen, as old as this movie is now. But being the #1 movie on Netflix, I could easily see Netflix stepping in and say, hey guys, let's get another one.
Let's do this.
It's doing well. So who knows? But it's available now, streaming on Netflix. It was in the #1, the top 10 for, I don't know if it still is, but it was for quite a while. Hidden Strike. If you know or remember about it, or if you just like either one of these guys, go check it out and have some fun, man. Watch some ridiculousness and have a good time.
There you go. All right. What else? Is that all? I think that might be all for right now. Over to you, kind sir.
Oh, what are we talking about?
What's coming out?
It's not a big week of stuff coming out. There is one movie that we haven't seen that I want to see called The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster that we missed out on. So I'm going to check Shudder and see if it's actually on there yet. But it looks like that's coming out to Blu-ray. 1923, a Yellowstone origin story, season 1 that has Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren is coming out to the Blu-ray and the DVD. Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon 4K is coming out this week as well. That we'll also be giving away a copy of on our site. I believe they're releasing, it's either Blu-ray or 4K. You'll be excited for this. Little Nicky is getting a new release.
My mom is an angel.
This movie is horrible.
I love Little Nicky.
This movie is so bad.
I don't know why, because it's not good.
It's not good at all. And I love I love all that era of Adam Sandler. That was the first movie that came out. I was so excited to see the movie that came out. I'm like,
and then
when you said you loved it, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
See, and I don't like some of his other ones.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Boucher and
see, those are hilarious.
I'm just like, oh, those are so gross.
I've been having to listen to this stupid Little Nicky impression from her since that movie came out.
I love it. So
anyway, so that's pretty much it.
That makes me happy. Okay, coming out at the theaters or on the line. There's a lot of interesting and good stuff. So we need to catch up on some things from last week. But starting today, there's a new series on Netflix called The Sandman. It's a series, and it's about a guy.
That's been on.
Well, it says it came out today, released today. I don't know.
What? Sandman came out a long time ago, I thought.
The series?
Yeah.
But to Netflix?
Yeah, it was a Netflix show.
Okay. Well, anyways.
It's based on a comic book by Neil Gaiman.
The guy held for a prisoner for 70 years, but comes out into modern day and has to figure out what's going on and take revenge. Okay. Coming out Tuesday on Video Demand and Digital, this is something called The Thing Behind the Door. And it's a woman who's dealing with the loss of her husband. This is after World War I. And she can't stand being alone, so she turns to dark magic to bring him back. And so you know that's not going to end well, so check that one out. Also on Video Demand and Digital is something called The Summoning the Spirit. This looks really interesting too. It's a couple, they decide they want to get away from the big city, go live a quiet life. They find some people and then realize they're in a cult and how to get out. Don't do that. Also on Video Demand and Digital, it's this group of filmmakers, and one of the friends is like, well, let's go to my hometown called Wolf Hollow. I think we can make a cool documentary there. And suddenly they found a den of werewolves.
Hey, just what happens.
You know, random. Coming out on Wednesday to Hulu's a new series called Moving. It's about these people, and they discover that throughout the world there are people that have superpowers or extraordinary abilities. And so they're trying to bring them all together. Coming out on Thursday to Netflix, another series called Painkiller. It is a drama, but it is based on the opioid crisis in the U.S. So interesting there. And coming to Paramount Plus, something called Love in Taipei. And it's these people, and this girl takes her parents to Taipei for a cultural immersion. It's a comedy, so I'm going to assume that craziness ensues. Coming out to Friday in the theater.
I'm circling back.
Okay. Circle
the
back.
Sandman thing actually hit Netflix in 2022.
I don't know why they're billing.
So I'm wondering if it's a new season.
Might be a new season.
So, because it did say it got picked up for a second season, so maybe this is the new season.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for the clarification.
It was bothering.
Friday in the theater. I'm excited about this. The Last Voyage of the Dementor. It is a Dracula movie. I'm all about that.
I don't think we're going to be able to go see anything.
I know, but I'm all about it. Then a movie called The Pod Generation. It's Emilia Clarke and Chiwetel Ejiofor. And I said his name right. It's about this couple that are just busy with their day-to-day life running a tech company, and they want to have a kid. So she finds a place where they can put the kid in an artificial womb to grow, or in a pod. But that way, both the mother and the father get to share in the experience of the baby growing in the womb. Seems a little interesting and strange and kind of crazy, but we'll see what the movie's all about. Also coming out Friday on Netflix, the new Netflix movie of the week, starring Gal Gadot, Heart of Stone. She's an intelligence
making a big deal about
operative. It looks like she's just going to be in a shoot 'em up movie. So
yeah, they actually sent me a thing to go to a screening for it.
Oh wow.
I guess I can get some theater.
The Prime movie of the week coming out Friday on Prime Video, Red, White, and Royal Blue. It centers on the son of the president and his relationship with Prince Harry, the grandson of the Queen. So we'll see what happens there. And I think Video Demand Digital, Match Me If You Can. It's a computer dating service. And they're trying to fix up someone that has been deemed unmatchable by the system. So it's going to be a romantic comedy. Yes, it's all about me. So that's it.
And we still didn't get to watch the new Meg movie. So hopefully I'll somehow work that in this week.
We can just go right now.
Well, that's true as well. There's potential. But...
All right. That's it, my friends. Thank you so much for watching.
We have giveaways.
Oh, tell me about the giveaways.
You didn't even put them up, did you?
Y'all don't get free stuff.
All right,
baby.
Jeez, oh Pete, we got some new stuff added to the mix. We got some digital copies of Kandahar. Even if you don't know what that movie is, you can watch a movie.
It is a good movie.
I was told by someone that they didn't want a copy of it because they didn't know what it was.
Oh my gosh, it's Gerard Butler saving someone from Kandahar.
How do you know what any movie is until you've seen the trailer or you see the poster or you watch the freaking movie?
There you go.
Anyway.
And it's good, too.
We also have some copies of 4K of East of Eden with James Dean. I believe this was his first movie.
James Dean.
I believe that was his first movie, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. We also have digital copies of The Little Mermaid live action. God, I can't wait till that contest is over. We also have some 4K copies of The Return of Swamp Thing, which you need to watch because
we just watched Swamp Thing.
So what did you think of the Swamp Thing?
It was fine. It was good. I mean, it's a little dated now, but it's a fine movie. I get it.
How dare you? That's Wes Craven, ma'am.
I like that it's a man in a suit.
Yes. Dick Durock is the actor's name.
Sounds like that.
Which is funny because if you look at the cover of The Return of Swamp Thing, it's Heather Locklear and Louise Jourdan, which is the bad guy from the first movie, Return for the second movie.
Oh, that's funny.
But they don't put Dirk Durock, who's his actual Swamp Thing, in there. He's like a stuntman turned whatever. And he plays Swamp Thing in every iteration until the new version. He did the TV series, both movies. Anyway.
Wow.
And then we also have some 4K copies of Enter the Dragon that a person turned down because they don't buy physical media any longer. So they didn't want a free copy.
This is like one of the greatest movies ever.
It is. And then also we got copies of 4K of Rio Bravo with Dean Martin and John Wayne and Ricky Nelson.
Little Ricky Nelson. Aw, how cute is that?
So we'll have some other ones pop up here soon. So go onto our website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com. Click on that contest button.
And answer the question. And please email me things. Stop responding via... I've had some people post on social media. I've had some people comment on the post. And while I appreciate your engaging...
Engage.
I don't always see them on time. So make sure you send the email with your answer so I can see it properly. It gets lost, and by the time I go back to draw the names, because I draw them randomly and I do read all your stuff, even the stuff on Twitter and whatnot. But by the time I go, I may forget you entered on Twitter and didn't see you in the list of the people that actually entered. So
there you go. All right. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Hive.
And someday we'll have stuff behind us.
We will, one day.
Right now we sell Batman.
Goodbye. Peace be with you, my friends.